Wonderful. Good
Yeah,
morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding, excuse me, over the 210th District Court criminal docket for March 10th, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. I know Mr. Coronado has urgent business because we've been hearing from you, Mr. Coronado. Can we start with him, Chuy, or is there something else?
No, Judge, that's fine. That's the one I was going to call.
Great.
Yes, ma'am. It's cause number 2016-0D03498, State of Texas versus Gerardo Espinosa. Announcement to council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Sergio Coronado, Your Honor, on behalf of Gerardo Espinosa, we're ready.
Good morning. And I
Morning,
guess
Judge.
we're having some issues. I know I received kind of a copy maybe about a week ago. I don't know really the timetable, and I was unsure what the issue was. I know maybe Mr. Coronado, you, Ms. King, may have been in touch with the court. As I look up the case on Odyssey, tell me a little bit, what's going on?
You want me to do that, Roa?
Sure.
Okay, Judge, basically, my client contacted me last week. I was on the road to out of town.
Okay.
That the probation officer in his case had scheduled for him to go to do his 10 days prior to his probation expiring. And I think this had just been delayed, and it's probably, I probably blame both my client and the probation officer for not having done this way and ahead of time. And so my client advised me that she told him, that's it. This is the last date. You have Sunday, you got to turn yourself in. He calls me, he says that he apparently has problems with asthma and other conditions like high blood pressure. And so he contacted me and said that the jail won't allow him because before they have not allowed him to go in and take his medication or take this particular machine where I think he puts the albuterol, connects it to the electric outlet. So they wouldn't let him take in the machine. He did advise them about it. So my understanding, Chris contacted the charge nurse yesterday because my clients, I filed the motion yesterday. My client's family told me that they received a call from Mr. Espinosa on Tuesday that he was not being administered his medication and that he was getting desperate and he was feeling really bad and they wouldn't even take him to the hospital.
Hold on a second, Mr. Coronado. So are you telling me he's in the jail and he's not receiving his medication?
Well, let me finish and then Chris contacted the charge nurse yesterday, Linda Ramirez, and she advised Chris that he was being administered his albuterol. And but they did not let him take this, apparently this machine where he puts this albuterol and I really have not familiar with that machine, but it kind of vaporizes it and he's, but they wouldn't let him take that in, but they did tell Chris that they were administering the albuterol. But I checked again with my client's family this morning and they tell me no, as of Tuesday when he called them, he was not being administered. So I asked Chris this morning if the nurse told him when exactly they had started administering, because the fact that they're doing it now doesn't mean that we're doing it before. And so that I tried to verify that, and I contacted the charge nurse this morning. She's not in, the one that Chris talked to, but apparently the charge nurse on duty is a person by the name of Danny Ramirez. I tried calling him. They couldn't get a hold of him. I tried calling the other nurse to ask them, hey, give me information when they started. We don't need the charge nurse to tell us when they started.
Let me just stop you really quickly. Not that I'm not concerned about what you're telling me, but I now am able to see that you filed a motion to modify the conditions of probation.
Yes, Judge.
I want to make sure I understand. He's terming more or less around April 4th,
yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
And your request in that motion is that he complete his 10 days ACOP on work release, correct?
Yes, Judge. That way there's no issues with it. He can do it during the day.
And so I want to be clear, unless, and this is for probation's benefit as well, unless I specify otherwise, the court never has a problem with that. I think we had a hold up on that, Mr. Coronado, as you know, when COVID kind of took over everything and
Yes.
what the jail wasn't accepting, they weren't doing those things, but we're beyond that now. And unless there's some other complication with the jail, I certainly am not going to be the impediment to someone completing their terms of probation that continue to allow them either for work purposes, maybe in this case for health reasons, to complete them. But he's going to be able to do it. He's going to be able to do it before he terms. So,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Judge.
So the motion, I'm not so sure it's a modification because it's not the court's restriction to have them do them straight, you know?
Okay,
So in a sense, yeah, it's granted. He can do them work release. And
Okay.
in particular, in this case, if there is a medical concern that is also part of the mix. Missy Babe, are you on this one or who's on this one?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, I'm the probation officer for Mr. Espinosa. Mr. Espinosa's turned on 4/4/2017, and since the date that he got placed on probation, he was advised of the jail commitment. This case used to be supervised by Ms. Avila Pineda, and then I know that she's not available, but she can confirm with me that he's been advised on a monthly basis that he needed to complete this jail commitment as a conditions of probation. The last time that I spoke with Mr. Espinosa, he wanted to do it on the last week of the month, the weekend. And I said, you can't do that because you will not have enough time to complete the term, the 10 days. He was asking the wife to see if that was okay for him to turn himself in on this past the 6th, on March the 6th. So and then I spoke with Mr. Coronado and I explained the situation that I'm being advising Mr. Espinosa to complete this before the terms end. Then I contact Ms. Nieto. We have the the order file. And he's not working at the time. He was waiting for a job interview, but as far as I know, he's not working. And the term will end on 4/3/2022. And he wanted just to do it like a couple of days, like not consecutively. That's the reason why we did the order.
No, I see what you're saying, Missy Babe. So I understand that. What I think is kind of an intervening circumstance here is probably the medical concern. And just to avoid any problems there, I'm going to allow, so if we need to amend or do, I'm not sure exactly what we need to do, the motion to modify, I guess it would be that order committing would be to allow him to go in, whatever, Mr. Coronado, whatever allows him to get it done before he terms. Okay, so if he's able to do it weekends or if he wants to do it work release, I'll count it work release, understanding that it's really for medical reasons than it is for work
And
reasons.
we have a credit already, Your Honor. Checked this morning and he already completed the 5 days. So it will be only 5 days remaining.
There you go. Okay, so Ms. Nieto, what do we need to complete, because the jail is going to be going off of this order committing. So do we need an amended order? Do we need something?
Yes, I would create an amended order committing to jail. I would just need an in and out time for Mr. Espinosa.
Okay. So,
Judge, we would request, we would request that he be allowed to do it in the turn himself in the late evening and get out early morning. That way he can, during the day, most of the time he can be able to hook up to his machine at home. And
so I'm going to say 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Okay.
That's fine, Judge. That's agreeable.
Okay.
Can we start that tomorrow night?
What's today?
Or
Yes.
Monday?
No,
Monday?
I think Friday's good. I think Friday's very good. Yes.
Okay.
And then it will just be 5 days, ¿verdad? We have 5 days left.
Yes.
Your Honor.
If he's released today, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Monday, Missy Bobby. Or who is it?
Ms. King.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Just for record purposes, I did call the jail this morning and I spoke to the head nurse, Mr. Hernandez, and he did inform me that he is receiving the prescribed medication and he will be seen by a provider today.
Well, I mean, I think on it's probably to everyone's benefit to allow him to administer his own whatever meds, things of that nature. It probably alleviates the jail from even having to shoulder that responsibility. And we're talking about 5 days, so let's just get it done that way. But thank you for everyone checking. I wasn't quite sure what the issue was, but yeah, just generally, I'm sure on some of these, because we've done a review, I've done a review on all the DWIs, Mr. Coronado. So I
Yes,
think a
Judge.
lot of these ACOP days are going to be coming up where
Yes.
probation is probably going to be getting with probationers being like, hey, you're getting ready to term, and everybody leaves that to the last. The court gives them the leeway to do that. And if, just
Yeah, and
happens
a
that
part
way.
of the issue has been the pandemic where the jail wasn't accepting them to that. So
Right.
I
That's
get
true.
it. I get it.
That's
I get
true.
it. I
But
get
we'll
it.
do it that way. So as soon as I get the order, I'll get it filed. And if you have any other issues, let us know, okay?
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Babe. Thank you,
Be
Ms. King.
excused, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Take
Who's
care.
next, Chuy?
Okay, Judge, Hilliard, and that was an add-on, Judge.
Okay.
Cause number 2019-0D0-0185, State of Texas versus James Edward Hilliard. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel Marquez on behalf of Ms. Hilliard. Good morning, Ms. Feeney.
Good morning.
0185. Give me a second to look it up, please. Is this our Alabama or Georgia or? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you give me the case number again, please?
Yes, Judge. It's 2019-0D0-0185. 0185.
0185. Okay. This is not the right case.
It's 0815, Your Honor.
0815. Okay, so I'm laughing because this person is set for a plea on April 14th. So my eyes went like that and I thought a miracle happened and we were going to be done with this case. But let me put in the correct case number because I don't want to ask you it. I'm just kind of delaying the inevitable, which is my concern as to why we have a special meeting on Mr. Hilliard or Hillard. Ay, Dios mío. Because by the time I get this case number in here, it'll be able. Go ahead. What's going on?
Your Honor, so a summary of what's really going on, there has been a communication between me and Mr. Marcus back and forth on when are we going to have this trial. So as of February 22nd, I believe Mr. Marcus did, there was a spring break communication with his, the defendant's family and his witnesses. And I believe he stated for trial to be set for May 19 and 20 and July 14 and 15. So the last communication with Mr. Marcus was, I believe, March 9th, yesterday, and he indicated that the family, the defendant's family, is not willing to reset the trial. So here we are. I did file a motion for continuance because I also have my victim that is out of state in New York.
So hold on. When we were here last, I guess that would have been in February, right? I thought we were all in agreement, although that had not been formalized because we were really just looking towards a new date, that the March trial date was not going forward. I mean, that was the court's understanding.
And that's the state understanding as well, Your Honor.
What happened, Mr. Marcus?
Your Honor, on February 17th, we had the scheduled final judges conference in this case. And we announced ready at that time. We have always been ready for trial on March 17th. And I believe the state may have announced ready at that time as well, because we had been in communication that this case needed to remain on the trial track. We've had several, since this case was set in July of last year, we've had several status conferences or the hearings in this matter where we have always been ready for trial on March 17th with our out-of-state witnesses. During the February 17th hearing, the court coordinator indicated that there was a possibility that the court could not accommodate the March trial settings for whatever reasons because of juries coming in and it wasn't clear if it was going to happen. That is what was the impetus for the February 22nd hearing that we had. And the discussions regarding the February 22nd hearing were for backup trial dates if the court could not accommodate the March hearings. If we couldn't impanel a jury at that time, or for whatever logistical reasons or COVID issues, if we could not have that jury. So that was the communications with the DA's office regarding backup trial dates. In the event that we could not go to trial in March, when are we available for backup trial dates? Those were dates that were proposed and discussed in March, or on February 22nd for the March trial dates. However, our position has never been that our witnesses are not available on March 17th. With respect to—
Well, hold on, Mr. Marcus, because don't hold me to this. I'd feel much more comfortable if I had the record, but I can remember several times the court accommodating your clients, witnesses, all of those things for scheduling. So although it might be on one level, maybe technically accurate, let me look at these hearings, because it is my recollection, no one was of the mindset that we were going to trial on March 17th.
And Your Honor,
And so I need to ask a couple of things first. What are you asking of the court, Mr. Marcus?
We're asking the President to deny the motion to continue. This was specially set back in July of 2021, Your Honor. I think any other, the only motion to continue that was filed by the defense was filed, I believe, in January of 2020, right before COVID, as we were still in the beginning stages of this case. Had been indicted, I think, in the fall of 2019. And so the defense submitted a motion then that was unopposed by the state. But after that point in time, because of COVID and those issues and the logistical issues of whether or not jury trials were going, it has been reset, not by the state or by the defense, but by the court due to all of those issues. But since that time in July, when we specially set, we have been prepared for the March 17th and 18th special setting.
No.
Your Honor, if I may, with the state's motion for continuance, I did attach as an exhibit the email communication, and I am with the court with this one. I do have my notes that March 17 was not going anymore because of the witnesses and the school schedules. That's my understanding as well.
So this was an add-on today for a status. We were otherwise set for a final hearing plea deadline on March 15th. So I'll see you all on March 15th. We'll hear the state's motion for continuance then. Okay. What else do you need from me?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, does, for purposes of checking in Mr. Hilliard, will he need to be present for that March 15th hearing, or just check in on Monday as well?
He can check in on Monday. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who's next, Tree?
Judge Esparza Alvarez on page 4.
Go ahead.
Cause number 2019-0D05117, State of Texas versus Michael Esparza Alvarez. Announcement of council, please.
Loa King for the state of Texas.
Paige Jaworski for Mr. Esparza.
And Lucia Mendoza from adult probation.
Bear with me. I gotta imagine this is one that I have a report on, correct?
Please, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. Let me look it up. All right, we're set for an admonishment hearing. I'm gonna have to pull this one up and print it. Give me 1 second. All right, is it Ms. Mendoza? Ms. Mendoza, are you on this one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you give me somewhat of a summary, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Esparza was placed on probation on January 2020 for the next 4 years strict probation for DWI third or more. He was court ordered to have a portable device, which he had installed it back in 2019. To be exact, this October 7 of 2019. He was court ordered to complete the DWI, the victim impact panel. He did complete it, both of them. He was also assessed for TAP, and he did complete it on October 2020. He's still pending for those 10 days as a condition of probation. And the reason we're here, Your Honor, is because Mr. Esparza has failed to provide urine sample as directed, and also having missed and skipped tests on the device when Mr. Esparza on a monthly basis has been reminded not to have any missed, skipped, or any positive readings. And also he has a warrant for his arrest for traffic tickets, Your Honor, but this is prior to his probation. Community service, he is working now that we're open now to the public to do community service hours. He's done 246 out of the 80 that he was court ordered. Probation fees, Your Honor, he has not been working on his probation fees. Even though he works, his father has a business. So I've been told several times that he works with him. And what else? He's not eligible for a driver license. And I think that's about it, Your Honor. That's the why we're here. You requested a bench warrant and still pending to be issued.
Why?
And,
Why is it pending?
I have no idea, Judge. I requested on the day that I got an email from Ms. Avila, and I don't see that issue. I don't see that it's posted in the system.
Okay, I did look it up and I sent it back. So maybe it's just that she's out of office. If there's someone I need to send it to. I did have previous notes. So I think we kind of crossed wires because the admonishment might have been in the works at the same time that I was reviewing the DWI cases and had already ordered the bench warrant. So Mr. Jaworski, you're representing, are you representing Mr. Alvarez or Mr. Esparza?
Yes, Mr. Esparza, Your Honor. And I have my client here as well. So he has been having a few issues with the device itself. We were hoping to, I spoke with Ms. Mendoza yesterday, so I think we're on the same sheet of music as far as my client wanting to work, wanting to get through the program, wanting to not be an issue. I think this has certainly served as a wake-up call for my client.
No. So hold on, because your client's there. I'm not going to do this just to be, I have failed to report to lab. He was supposed to go to the lab for some type of testing, Ms. Mendoza, on February 26th, February 14th, December 1st, July 31st, May 17th. So when did the wake-up call happen, Mr. Esparza? Yesterday? Day before yesterday?
No, ma'am.
No. Mr. Jaworski, I'll tell you this right now. The bench warrant that should have been done yesterday. Your client is going to have to turn himself in once that warrant is active, and we're going to come to a different resolution because, let me ask you, Ms. Mendoza, is this a true third?
Sorry, Your Honor?
Is this a true third, or Ms. King's nodding yes? Great. Okay.
Yes.
It's a true third. And so I'm looking at, my printer went on forever.
Your Honor, if I may.
Hold on a second. Years and years of failure to comply on the monitor, right? So we haven't complied on the monitor for
That's
2 years.
2 years.
And, okay, and he was driving. All right, Miss Nieto. Please send me over the documentation that you have on the driving.
Yes, Judge. It's actually on Odyssey because it was from the sheriff's office. It's 720-02254-TR.
Does it show a date?
Yes.
It's got to be 2020, right?
It was, Your Honor.
September 11, 2020, Your Honor.
Yeah, see, and this is part of my frustration, Ms. Mendoza. I don't know if you've been supervising him all this time, but I don't know that I've ever received a report on Mr. Esparza. He's driving, he's not compliant on the monitor. He's basically telling probation, yeah, don't bother me with testing appointments. He has never been compliant. So the bench warrant, Ms. Mendoza, if you will email me so I can email you back, or Ms. Robles, do you have access to Ms. Pineda's? Because I checked all of my bench warrants yesterday and I've signed them all.
Your Honor, I
So-
do not have access to Ms. Carla's email, but she was out yesterday. So if you want to send it to me, I can file it. She was out in
Chris-
the afternoon.
Chris, did you, because these would have been signed as of Monday, Tuesday, whenever I got them. Chris, were you copied on all of those bench warrants?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I may have missed the question. I'm sorry.
No, it's not for you. If your name, yeah. No, Mr. Burkeen, are you there? Okay, I'll double check, Yesenia. If I thought maybe Chris might have been copied on all of those. If not, I'll just send them all to you. I'll have to go back because I know I got them kind of piecemeal. For sure, I'll send you Mr. Esparza's. So, Mr. Jaworski, if you have something else, go ahead, but I know where I'm headed.
Just briefly, Your Honor, if I may, for the record.
Sure.
So, the driving did occur in 2020. The warrants have been recalled. We are just begging the court for bond with regards to the bench warrant for my client. We were hoping that, I know the court's position that he hasn't been compliant. I would offer that he has been compliant as far as TAP and some of the other requirements on his probation. He is willing to work and get through this, to work with Ms. Mendoza. He was hoping to ask the court to convert the fines and the fees into community service. He does enjoy doing the community service. He was hoping that that'd be something for the court's consideration. Potentially, he was actually hoping to ask the court today to go in tomorrow night into the county jail to start serving those 10 days. So I know the court's position. I have seen my client has communicated to me that he's willing to take steps to right the wrong. So that's what I have to offer, Your Honor.
Well, we're going to start off with a bench warrant and put him in custody. That's how we're going to start to write this. So I've just forwarded, Ms. Robles, the bench warrant to you. As soon as it becomes active, we'll be good to go. Thank you very much. Y'all are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who's next, Chuy?
Hey, Judge Santana on page 4.
Hi, Mr. Yanez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How you doing?
Doing good, thank you.
Okay. Let me ask, before we actually get started on this one, I remember, hearing about it. Were we not going to do it at the jail slot though? Is he in custody, right?
He's in custody, Your Honor.
Is, honestly, I would prefer to do it at the jail slot, Luis. Just so, because am I hearing that he wants to represent, or is he hiring someone else, or he wants to go self-represented, or?
No, Your Honor, I don't think he liked the options I gave him, which was proceed or take the plea. And I believe he wants another attorney.
Okay, I just want to, I don't have issues on the withdrawal per se. I just want him here. So if we can get that scheduled for Tuesday, great. That would be the best option. Are you available on Tuesday? Tuesday at 3 in the afternoon?
I am not. I'm supposed to. I come back on Wednesday.
Okay, we can do the following week. I don't have a problem with that. We can do the following week.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see. We're at the 10th, so that gets us to the 22nd.
I'll make myself available, Your Honor.
Okay, if you have a problem, let me know. But we'll shoot for the 22nd at 3 p.m. I just didn't want him here just in case we're gonna have any confusion.
Yes, sir. Oh, we're already on a pre-rebel on him on that day, so
Mhm.
at 3.
Ándale pues. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Sorry
Thank
you
you,
had to wait. Okay.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, sir. Thank
you.
you. Who's next, Chuy?
Okay, Judge Navarro, page 4.
All right. Let me find that one too. Sounds like it's gonna be a bench vote. Don't know why. It's not.
Judge, this is one of the cases that we have the DWI reports. And it's noted that he was skipping a couple of test windows recently.
Okay.
This
I
has
was
been
just-
brought-
I was just looking because I had two, not just the case summary, but the Scram report also for February. So I was trying to load that up. I didn't have that printed. Carla sent me both.
The
Okay.
last one was from 2/1/2022 to 2/28/2022. We have 11 missed tests and 103 passed tests.
Hold on a second. Let's go ahead and get started, Chuy.
Yes, Judge. It's cause number 2018-0D03871, State of Texas versus Mario Alberto Navarro. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Deborah Ibabi, Adult Probation Department.
And I believe, is that Mr. Navarro? He's appearing remotely. He's muted right now. Do you see him, Ms. Ibabe?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Navarro, quite el micrófono.
Does
So
he
we can-
understand English?
Yes.
Pues sí, prefiero español.
Okay, let's get an interpreter. Okay,
Yes, Judge. Let me get one.
so espérese, señor